Talk a little bit about the motorsports calendar as you ride along with Graham Rahal at Summit Racing Equipment. NHRA Southern Nationals qualifying will be next Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And then we'll be in Kansas next Sunday. First time you'll get to see Danica Patrick and everybody back together on the same oval, 5 p.m. Eastern. And that'll be followed by the finals of the NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series, 7 p.m. on ESPN2. And we mentioned Graham Rahal running the fourth right now and has been closing in on Montagny right there in the index machine. As he is on the black tires, in other words, the harder compound, but is doing a very good job on it.
The neat thing right now is that he's been able to work away at getting the car a little bit faster. When I unloaded off the truck the other day, it was not that good, and he said to me, I think we are just off on setup. St. Pete's was very good for us, but we're just off on setup here. But they've made some great gains in this last day and a half and into qualifying and even warm up here this morning. And now it looks like the car is comfortably getting through the turns. Now he's on that harder tire, the black tire. He's got a lot of tools at his disposal. Still has the red wall tires to put on during the next stop if he wishes to do so. Remember, a little bit more grip out of those red wall Bridgestone Potenza tires. Push to pass, he seems to have lots of that, so he can find some more power with the engine. So we'll have to see what kind of strategy the team's going to work for him when it comes down to run for the checkered.
And we should point out, remember, points are being awarded towards the IndyCar Championship, and Graham, where he stands right now, would be tied for 5th in the points. Will Power, with him running up front, would move into 7th in IndyCar points. So this is very, very significant for all these positions.
And they're very much aware of it. And when you see cars go by, if the rain light or the light that's on the back of the car is showing as we start to look at some of this information here along the bottom screen, you see the throttle being picked up all the way through the gearbox, the 7-speed gearbox here. Watch the speed on your left-hand side. Going up to 12,000 RPMs. It should get over 170 miles an hour before turn 1. And then back down the gearbox from 7th. Quick couple of shifts down here with a paddle shift, and then you start to work through 3rd gear all the way through around the fountain and towards the back part of the section of the racetrack. Now the rain light, as I started to mention, that's on the cars that you see. Those are the ones that are running towards the championship for the complete season standings. As you can see, Graham's car going away from you right there with the red light on, and that's to let the other drivers know that those are the ones that are in the championship hunt.
Well, and one thing we should point out about Graham's paint job, if that looks a little familiar, like maybe from the days when Nigel Mansell was driving for that team and Mario Andretti, it is. It's a retro paint fit. And let's talk a little bit more with Jack. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. Graham's getting dicey. Look out. So much for worrying about points.
Well, they're both taking advantage.
Oh, and he gets hit. Montagny gets into him, and he goes around. Does anybody tag him? No. He's going to lose a lot of positions here.
That was a brave move on the outside of the turn, because sometimes you can make it work, sometimes you cannot. But what he was trying to do was try to be on the inside for turn 11. Boy, he can find reverse very quickly. Now light that thing up and spin it sideways if he doesn't have the thing stalled. What a great job.
Well, he may be wanting to reconsider. So talked about exactly what we were mentioning. Montagny is not going to be racing the entire season. He has nothing to lose here. Graham had a lot to lose, and he falls back because of this.
Well, as they're coming down towards turn 9 after that long back straightaway, what he's trying to do is take advantage of the traffic car that they're starting to go around, the 14 of Roberto Marino. Now he's on the outside, and he thinks maybe if I can make it away around here, I'll be on the inside for the next turn and get the run down the straightaway, but that did not happen. Here we go again. Now this is turn 10 around the outside. That left rear, Graham Rahal just gets touched. And boy, he is so fortunate not to get taken out by the other cars. Boy, and this is a tight line, Marty. Up over the curbing, and he actually starts just to rub the wheels together. And here you go. You're fighting. The adrenaline's going. You're not going to give up. And now you're going, man.
And he has dropped back to 15th position and is a lap down. So a very costly maneuver for Graham Rahal, our winner 2 weeks ago. And as we talked about the big picture of things as these drivers move on down the road, our first incident between a driver who's trying to make an impression, Frank Montagny, trying to win a job with somebody, and Graham Rahal.
Well, I think Graham is actually not down a lap. I think he's just at the very tail end of that group right now, so he's got to get his foot on it so he's not going to turn around and get caught up by the guys that are leading.
And you're right. He did stay on the lead lap. Scoring has just updated that. Let's bring in Jack Arute.
Guys, across the Long Beach grandstands, you could hear a big cheer and a whoa when that occurred, but you could also hear it all the way back in Japan. Now, a lot of the drivers like Helio Castroneves and others were able to overnight back here to Long Beach to watch the point situation. But all of the crew members don't leave until tomorrow morning. So what have they done? They've all gotten to an Aussie-owned restaurant in Mito City, Japan, called the Drunken Duck. It's the big hangout when you are over there in Japan because they're the home of, well, kind of American-looking food, if you want to call a kangaroo burger that. And they're all watching on a big screen TV. So I want to give a shout-out to all the crews that just gave a collective sigh when Graham Rahal just charged into that corner as well and spun.
And Jack, what the follow-up question is, how do you know so much about the Drunken Duck?
Guys, when you're over there, you have two choices, the Drunken Duck at night and McDonald's in the morning. That's it.
That sounds like you, Jack. Hey, let's take you back to some of the drama and confrontation that's happened in this event over the years. That's 1991. Michael Andretti going up and over Emerson Fittipaldi on pit road. That's back when pit lane speeds were unlimited. That changed right after this. In 1992, there were 2 incidents. In fact, Michael's dad, Mario, was involved with one. This was with Eddie Cheever. You're on board with Cheever at that point. And then, moving ahead to lap 102, teammates Danny Sullivan and Al Unser Jr. got together. Sullivan goes on to